This one's going to be exciting. So we are about to get ready for round one with Duocat versus AsheAcer. Let's head down to the action. All right, welcome everybody to round one of Spring Challenge number 2. We are good to go. Let's tell the players to get started and let's dive in here for the first round of Swiss. All right, our players are set to go. What do you think of this hand that AsheAcer is looking at here? It's a little weird to see these Wump and Mizos in non-Elysian decks. Wump and Mizo next to Hidden Road Smuggler is not something you see every day.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! If I were to import that deck and look at that hand, I would be going, "What is this hand? What am I looking at? Get me out of here! I'm off this deck." But to do this right, I think it can actually get going, uh, because it has an off curve. That uh, is it strange interloper? Is it the fixer, the neutral fixer
Yeah,
card?
Unfamiliar Interloper. Yep. 1/1
Unfamiliar
summon, gain an
interloper.
influence of your choice.
Right, right. So it has that card off curve, and then by that point, I think it can play whatever it wants to play. But oh boy, this is a slow. So it seems like both players are playing some Dirtle versus Dirtle.
Just definitely getting slow start here. That's what we're going to have for a little bit as these players are just getting it started.
This might sound like an aged comment, but it's basically the eternal equivalent of No Rush 20 from back in the StarCraft days. So we have a turn 3 Wump and Mizo, which is actually pretty on
That's
time
pretty good.
considering the composition of this deck.
All right, here
Uh,
comes the first Detro's Ruin, though. And AsheAcer's not going to be happy about seeing that one. Here comes a Wrath of Kyphus. Now, on Duocat's hand, we've got Shenra Speaks, Honor of Claws, Transpose, and an Elysian Silex in hand.
wow, so Duocat just has everything they need to really enact their game plan. They have the Decro's Ruin established. They have the card draw. They have the sweepers. They probably have everything they want, and using that Wump and Mizo's ability to pick off the unfamiliar interloper immediately, and out comes the Aeromat's design. So Duocat has just everything according to plan.
All right, Learned Imitator in hand for AsheAcer. You got a second Wump and Mizo here. But they're going to start things off with the Hidden Road Smuggler. They're going to grab an Exploit. They're going to try to mess up Duocat's plan here to start.
So that's going to trigger a pause. And yep, Transpose is going to come out and say, obviously not. Duocat is going to go into the market, and let's see if they.
I think they're actually not going to go to the market. They had a bunch of options, but I think they're just going to pass. They're going to keep their Honor of Claws and their Shenra Speaks and leave it at that. And they have a Display of Vision here, get some ramp going, and they see a Display of Knowledge on top, and I believe they kept that on top.
Yeah, at this point, it's a 3-cost tutor for whatever relic they want, which I think is going to be another Decro's Ruin. AsheAcer is going to
Mother of
establish
Skies
the
into
board
Wump and Mizo. Normally, I'd be really happy about Mother of Skies into Wump and Mizo, but Duocat's got the answer here.
Of course, so we're talking about a control deck playing 9 or 10 different sweepers. You've got to believe they have more than the one, which was the Airmox designs. Out comes the Shenra Speaks
with Decimate, silenced all the decimated to silence all those units instead. Duocat, interesting play there to go ahead and silence those units. I'm not sure AsheAcer has any recursion, but
Duocat not taking any chances. Especially with the Adjudicator's Gavel in play already.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a nice line. The Learned Imitator turning into a Triumphant Ranger.
Love it. Now, is this the card that just saw some recent changes this week?
I believe so.
Was this the one that used to be at the beginning of your turn, but now it's at the end of your turn, so you
yes.
pretty much always get one?
Yes. Yes, got it.
So there you go. That's an example. AsheAcer getting a unit off of it, and now getting their second one here, getting a strange tracker here after playing out a Kato Arena Herald here. All right, here comes Honor of Claws, Display of Knowledge, Crest of Wisdom, Display of Knowledge. So that's 3 Display of Knowledge in hand for Duocat. They're going to get rid of the crest and keep 3 copies of Display of Knowledge in their hand.
Hey, when you need the removal, you need the removal. Or the tutor. So we are not seeing any responses from Duocat, so they just have to hope that these displays of knowledge get there. And as we see, that Ikro's Ruin actually doing something to keep Duocat alive. But AsheAcer is going to go into the market and pick up a Dazzle.
That's a good one.
That's definitely a good one because Duocat's deck is all sweepers and removal that's targeted by this Dazzle. So out comes one Display of Knowledge. Yeah, AsheAcer says, "Oh, I have nothing. Psych! I actually have this Dazzle to protect my Triumphant Stranger." And now we have a pair of Triumphant Strangers. So this game is getting really out of hand. So let's see. Duocat gets another relic.
Arcane Restraint
does not affect the board here. So how much damage is this? This is 7, 11, 12. This is lethal.
Yep. Yeah, I think this is just straight lethal here, and Duocat's tapped out. I don't think they can do anything. Are any of these? Yeah, that should just be lethal, just like that. I think. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's lethal.
Oh, not quite. The Ikro's Ruin actually.
Oh, keep it at 1. Okay. All right, down to 1. Nice. Wow, lots of units here for AsheAcer. Does Duocat have another Wrath? No, another Pinnacle of the Reach, and I don't think that's going to do it. They can gain a little bit of life, but that's not going to be enough. AsheAcer's got more than lethal, and AsheAcer is going to take the game number 1. So congratulations to AsheAcer on winning game number 1. Remember, these are all best 2 out of 3. Let's pull up AsheAcer's deck list just one more time for everyone while they are getting settled for game number 2. All right, this is that 5-faction Kilo deck, as they call it here. Kilo looked pretty good there.
Yeah,
it's still strange seeing some of these cards, played in not the decks you normally see them in.
Yeah, in the battle of spicy meatballs, the spicier meatball actually comes out on top in game 1.
Alrighty, and we will do our best to have the ticker at the bottom of the screen during the game, keeping track on the other matches as they finish. Don't think we have any results yet, but we do have the same players ready for game 2, so let's head down to the action.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. AsheAcer looking at a hand of 4 Power, Mother of Skies, and 2 Smugglers. Might be okay. Duocat's gonna throw theirs back though. I'm sure they've got one power, bunch of interaction, but I don't think Duocat's deck is really gonna function on one power.
Ah, the classic one power auto mull.
Yeah, they're gonna throw that back, and they're gonna see 3 power, a ruin, 2 transposes, and a wrath of Kaifas. So that one looks a little bit better.
That sounds much more reasonable.
All right, for those of you who are asking in chat where you can play these games, these tournaments are all free to enter. You can find them at battlefy.com/Tuesday Night Eternal. Free to enter, free to join, $20 to the winner, courtesy of the Misplay podcast. And if you win, you qualify for the invitational. Win the invitational, you get an invite to Worlds. Not a bad thing to do on a Tuesday night.
Nope, not a bad thing at all. And if you can't make it Tuesday night, there's also the Friday tournament, depending on where you're located.
Absolutely. Good reminder there, Ilya. You're professional here now. All right, two
Hey,
straight powers off the top for Duocat, which is fine. I think for their deck, just making sure you hit your consistent power is not something you're worried about at this stage of the game.
yeah, once again, we're having both of these decks slow roll it because it takes a little longer to set up their power bases as the usual 2 or 3 faction decks. But both of them have some pretty high impact plays down the stretch to make up for that. So Duocat once again establishing that Decro's ruin, basically right out of the gate. Meanwhile, AsheAcer is going to complete their influence base, and now both players are doing exactly what they want to do.
Well, there's the Shenra Speaks off the top for Duocat. I know. So for everyone in chat, Ilya cannot see the hand cam, so I'm going to have to read that out. But yeah, Shenra Speaks off the top for Duocat. So I think that's exactly what they wanted to see there. After developing their power the first few turns and then drawing that Shenra Speaks, pretty good draw there for them. Things going well. Now AsheAcer's developing a board, but that's fine with Duocat. These aren't hit. It's not like you're facing down Yetis. These creatures aren't hitting too hard this early.
No, that's not too much pressure. 4 damage a turn is not negligible, but it's not the end of the world when you're at 23.
All right, here comes a Mask of Torment from Duocat's side. So if you haven't seen this one in a while, Mask of Torment says +1 maximum power, life force. When you gain life, +1 maximum power. And then the ultimate is pay 20 to play the Tormentor, an 8/8 flying at charge, overwhelm. Big boy. When you get to that point, you're in good shape. You don't have to worry about all the text on that card. All right, here comes an exploit, and this one's going to hit because Duocat's tapped out, not leaving a transpose up. And that means that Shenra Speaks is now gone, and all of a sudden Duocat's hand looks a lot worse.
Oh boy, if Duocat doesn't have a sweeper here, they are in uh, some unpleasant territory. That's one way of putting it.
Thank you again,
But
Cassandra, for the raid. We really appreciate everyone welcoming from Cassandra's stream a few minutes ago. And HamHawks42, thank you so much for the follow.
But here comes a Wrath of Caiaphas with a Decro's Ruin in play, which is essentially a drain 7 and triggers Mask of Torment 7 times.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That is indeed pretty good.
Now they have 2 more Detro's Ruins in hand, plus an Honor of Claws and a Display of Knowledge for Duocat.
So still missing that critical sweeper, but at the same time they knocked out the Dazzle, and since this is open deckless, Duocat knows that that is the only negation effect in, or at least the only Dazzle in AsheAcer's deck, and now we have 3 Decro's Ruins on
Yeah.
AsheAcer. So
Detro's Ruin here.
any any simultaneous draw effect, like another Wrath of Caiaphas, or even I believe it's partnership agreement, or is it expand the reach? I forget which of those simultaneous relics it is going to hurt a lot.
That was a
So
huge
Duocat,
honor of clause right there for Duocat Ilya. That was a display of vision, a second honor of clause, and a Shenra Speaks there, all for Duocat off that draw. So three meaningful cards drawn off that honor of clause and able to just pitch an extra power. So pretty huge there. And look at Ascendant Agent. I think they kept that Ascendant Agent on top as well. And here comes that
yeah,
Shenra Speaks. Let's wipe the board.
yep.
Interesting that AsheAcer didn't devour, but I guess they don't want to trigger Ditro's Ruin. What's that, 6 times?
Yeah, that would trigger 6 procs on the Mask of Torment and give Duocat enough power to summon the Tormentor.
Yeah, you probably don't want to do that.
No, that'd be a really bad idea.
All right, Learn Imitator. Let's see what Ash is going to name here.
Of course, it's Triumphant.
Triumphant Stranger. I like that. This deck's pretty sweet. Naming that Triumphant Stranger, that's going to get a Savage Stranger. At the end of your turn, strangers get +1. Here comes that Ascendant Agent here. Notably, Ascendant Agent cannot take care of that Triumphant Stranger being 5 factions. Couple factions too many for Ascendant Agent.
Yep.
And Display of Knowledge to draw a relic from your deck. Let's see what Duocat wants to grab.
Is that the fourth Dichro's Ruin? It shouldn't be.
Nope, that is a Pinnacle of the Reach. That's pretty good, though. That's going to, like you said, that's going to proc all those. The triple Ditro's Ruin every turn. And here comes the follow-up Honor of Clause. Right. Display of Knowledge, Harsh Rule, Calibrate. I don't know. Can I say that Duocat's starting to stabilize here? I mean, I know this Triumphant Stranger is scary, but I think they're getting everything they want at this point.
So
all right, so AsheAcer is going to fire off Ascendant Agent. Remember, Ascendant Agent has the text can kill a relic as well. So AsheAcer is going to fire it off on one of the Ditro's Ruin, knock those down to 2 instead of 3, thanks to that Ascendant Agent there.
Unfortunately,
Helio, not a great draw.
Helio is nice down the stretch as a one-off for Kilo to target down the stretch. I suppose when you hit her for 3 cards, you're reasonably happy. 4 or more is great. But AsheAcer has bigger problems incoming, such as a Mask of Torment getting ready to fire off a Tormentor, and Duocat is eventually going to wipe this board, I think. I don't see a reason to let this Triumphant Stranger remain on the board. But
Display of Vision using the -1/-1 mode is interesting there. I mean, you're basically just 1-for-1ing with their random stranger.
Well, you don't need power, and your opponent has no relics, so that's basically the only thing it does at this point. Oh, and oh, I see.
Oh, that takes care of the stranger. Okay, my mistake. I'm an idiot, everyone. Sorry about that. Because it takes care of the other stranger, the Triumphant Stranger without the bonus is just an 0-1. So my mistake. Clearly Duocat saw that and did that intentionally. So heads up play by Duocat. My mistake for not seeing that interaction.
How often do we interact with a Triumphant Stranger with Display of Vision?
Right? Good point. All right, here comes Unfamiliar Interloper for AsheAcer. Not super relevant at this point in the game. Transpose the draw for Duocat. This Wump and Mizo a lot more of an issue, but Duocat does have that Harsh Rule just in case things get out of hand.
So Duocat going to left to kill the Unfamiliar Interloper.
All right, Aramod's Design is going to take care of that and Wump, but of course that does not hit the Hidden Road Smuggler. But a lot easier to deal with a 2/2 lifesteal by itself than dealing with a flipped Wump and Mizo and a couple things. And here comes the Tormentor. Flying, Charge, Overwhelm, 8/8 at the start of your turn. Get the exact text right. At the start of your turn, if the Tormentor's in your void, play a 1/1 Spite Leg. And that transpose, and actually, yeah, that was just lethal. So that was enough damage, plus the damage from the transpose is just going to be lethal. So congratulations to Duocat. One taking that.
So now game 3 for all the marbles. We saw both spicy meatballs getting to serve essentially a whopper, so to speak. Um, this has been a highly amusing match, that's for sure.
Absolutely. All right. So let's see some reports from the back tables. We've got winners today so far in round one: Shadows, Doc 28, Iron Tide, Cola Coma, Collector. Not really surprising any of those names being the winners in round number one. You got some big name
No,
players right there.
no, not at all. When the road to worlds goes for this tournament, we're gonna get world class players. Uh, you you want to get to worlds, you take every shot you can because there aren't too many of them. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Okay, so all those players have won their matches. Follow along with the ticker down below. Take a look at your favorite player, favorite teammates. Go ahead and follow them along at the ticker as we go. Those will live update as we get those results. All right, AsheAcer and Duocat are ready for game three. So let's head down to the action to see who will start 1-0.
Let's go.
Oh, sorry about that, everyone. Just clicked on the wrong name. That happens sometimes when you have a lot of people jumping around. Let's click on the right person this time. And here we go. Okay, we've got AsheAcer at the bottom, one game one, Duocat at the top, one game two, and let's see who will take the match.
So if I'm AsheAcer, I am throwing this hand away. This hand cannot play a single card.
Mm-hmm. It looks like they kept it though. I think, yeah. So they kept that hand. Duocat keeps a hand of 3 power, a Ruin, Ascendant Agent, a Mask of Torment, and Aramot's Designs. I like Duocat's hand. It's a pretty good start. Needs some more power, but it'll get there.
Duocat sounds like they have everything they need. This
Yeah.
Triumphant Stranger going to go way to the bottom in a heartbeat.
Pinnacle Reach. Probably the only problem with Duocat's hand is pretty much all their power in their deck comes in on depleted. So they're sort of playing a turn off. But other than that, it's looking pretty good.
So AsheAcer gets the on-curve Mother of Sky. So a 5-faction deck actually getting to play cards on curve is almost unheard of. So AsheAcer, I think, is priced into using this Maveloft Huntress to plunder something. The question is what? Plunders away a learned imitator and passes back to Duocat, who probably has the world as their oyster right now. And out comes the Decro's Ruin.
Only one this time. Now we're not getting the triple Decro's Ruin off the top here. Kilo on top, and AsheAcer's just going to quickly slam Kilo right back on top of the deck. And they're going to fire off this Hidden Road Smuggler. And let's see what AsheAcer wants to grab from the market. They're going to grab an Exploit, just like they've done the last 2 games. No surprise there. Duocat's deck is full of interaction. Speaking of interaction, here comes the Harsh Rule off the top. And this could actually work out really well. Oh, they don't have enough Primal Influence. That would have been sweet to be able to have the Cobalt Waystone with the Aegis, but they don't have enough Primal.
Or
They're
just
not going to protect themselves here. But that's okay. Playing out, getting exploited right after playing out a Pinnacle of the Reach though isn't the worst, because Duocat's gonna be able to. They have a Pinnacle Reach in hand and a Mask. They're gonna be able to refill their hand fairly quickly once they land this Pinnacle.
Oh, so a second Pinnacle, combined with that Decro's Ruin. That Decro's Ruin is draining for 2 every turn, and this Display of Vision is going to ramp them instead of electing to wipe out that Maveloft Huntress.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
What does the Huntress even do anything? Like the Huntress, I mean, obviously an incredible card, but doesn't really do much in this matchup. It's not like Duocat's playing any units that Huntress is going to take out.
Right. I mean, I'm just saying she swings for damage. And of course, Learn Imitator comes out, turns into a Triumphant Stranger. And now Duocat, once again,
Gladiator, okay.
Under the gun, your opponent has a Triumphant Stranger. Aramot's Designs is that
the 1-for-1 there taken out. But here's Wrath of Kyphus. Each player discards a hand, then draws 7. Fantastic for Duocat, who had nothing going in hand anyway. He's going to draw a fresh 7, get a bunch of triggers, draw a Cobalt Waystone, 2 more Display of Vision, another Pinnacle, and a Transpose. So, I mean, not the greatest hit for your 7, but a fresh 7 at this point in the game is great, regardless.
Right. So that explains the Aramot's designs coming out because it was going away anyway.
Right, Duocat going to try to put on the pressure, but it's going to be tough with Ruin and Mask of Torment going and Duocat with a fresh 7. It's going to be tough to get enough damage moving here.
Yeah, once again, AsheAcer under the clock because Duocat is up to 17 power with that Mask of Torment. The Tormentor is not too far away, so AsheAcer really needs to get moving.
All right, Duocat. Notably for Duocat, no real Wraths in hand. You know, they've got the Display of Visions, which can take out a couple units, and they've got another Ruin. But there's not really a ton. Can they get anything with Transpose?
They can get the 4 cost.
Yeah, and get Malediction. That would be pretty good here.
So Malediction, I think, is a wipe.
If you fire off the Display of Vision first, then yeah, it is.
So now we're going to see multiple displays of vision. That still doesn't take care of the Triumphant Stranger. So
yeah, so here comes that Transpose. I think we're gonna go for the Malediction as well. Yep, here you go.
You have
3. You can make your own harsh rule by adding up 3 different damage-based removal spells, but here we are. The board is clear once again. Unfortunately for Duocat, they're empty-handed now, but they draw a bunch of cards, so they can refill quickly.
Well, they have things to do for a while. They have the Tormentor coming. They're going to draw 2 cards next turn in addition to their usual draw. AsheAcer, they're also drawing 2 cards a turn, but they're also taking 2 damage a turn. And they're choked on power while Duocat is trying to draw more cards. So
here comes another Triumphant Stranger. But Mask of Torment is now on, right? Duocat can play that out if they'd like.
Duocat can summon the Tormentor if they want to. I wouldn't want to do that at this point because ultimately I'm not ready to beat down yet. I want to take care of that Triumphant Stranger, so no more shenanigans, especially if it's a 6/6. So turn to C is going to just permanently deal with that nonsense. And Vara Vengeance Seeker off the top for AsheAcer will pop that Aegis.
We'll pop that Aegis.
Eventually.
All right, Blight Path Smuggler going to go and get a Dazzle. And that actually is a pretty good draw because that can pop any sort of Harsh Rule or any other Wrath action. Can be stopped by that Dazzle. Display of Knowledge here for Duocat, plus an Aramot's Designs, which can take out about half the units here. All right, 4 out of 6, but the Dazzle's going to stop that. So good draw for AsheAcer from the market to prevent that. Now, interestingly, Duocat had an Honor of Claws in hand. I wonder if you go Honor of Claws before the Aramot's Designs, just to get more information and know what you're working with in case of something. Now they sort of have to let that Aramot's Designs get countered, and now you Honor of Claws afterwards. But no, instead of that, they're actually going to go for the Tormentor here.
Okay, so
raise. That's going to put AsheAcer down to a 1-turn clock. So now AsheAcer has to kill Duocat here. But they also have the Silverblade Menace. So if they can pop the Aegis with the Vara, this Silverblade Menace.
Is that 12 damage?
That's 12 damage if AsheAcer can pop the. Interesting. Okay, or they also are just going to Permafrost the Tormentor.
I would not have gone with that line.
I think they had lethal if they just went Vara into Silverblade Menace.
I would have gone to Vara Silverblade just on the fact that I am nearly dead if I'm in AsheAcer. So AsheAcer going to drop Vara and now has to hope she doesn't get hit by a Wrath effect. And dropping Vara after permafrosting the Tormentor.
All right, that's going to put Duocat, but Duocat's still at 8. AsheAcer down to 3 with a Ruin on them. Display of Knowledge in hand for Duocat as well, which they can go get a Relic. and a Pinnacle of Reach. I think Duocat might
That
be
should
able
be
to just
lethal.
deal 3 damage here, yeah. Is it just lethal with the Pinnacle is the question. 2 Pinnacles? 3 Pinnacles? Yeah, I think so.
3 Pinnacles lethal.
Yeah.
So
All right, so then, yeah, there's the
there's the
Shenra
Shenra
Speaks,
Speak
but I don't even
just
think
on
that
Prince.
necessarily mattered. Yeah, and the Spiteling's going to deal 1 damage just to make sure that it's lethal, but that should be enough because that's going to draw multiple cards, trigger Dichiro's Ruin multiple times. And that's it. Duocat. Congratulations to Duocat on the win. They're going to go to 1-0 after that 2-1 win over AsheAcer.